What a big-time football game to kick off Week 14, chock full of them. Dallas at Detroit, full complement of rest coming off of each of their Thanksgiving Day appearances. It's on Prime Video, and joining us now to talk about it is one of the Prime Videoers, but most importantly, a Walter Payton Man of the Year, and maybe even more importantly than that, the man who paid the entirety of Lane Kiffin's buyout so he could coach at his alma mater. Andrew Whitworth.
That's right.
On the Rich Eisen Show.
Yeah, my kids aren't getting anything for Christmas, Rich.
Is that what it is? Because you paid it all. That's what I heard. Every last dime that Lane got to walk to come to coach your alma mater came out of your pocket. Right, Andrew? Is that what I'm told?
Hey, listen, you got to make sacrifices. Go Tigers, baby.
There you go.
Let's go.
Okay.
Go Tigers.
We'll get to that in a second. How big is this football game, brother? How monster big is Week 14 on your network?
Man, it's huge. I mean, you look at these two teams and how they're coming into it. I mean, Dallas obviously, on a hot streak here. Seems like they're getting hot at the right time, and a lot of things are coming together for them and the belief they have in their head coach. And I think Brian Schottenheimer's done an amazing job. And I think that, really when you start to see that belief word, that confidence word in the NFL start to be something the team talks about, and their whole aura is that they think they can do anything. And so they want to play anybody, anywhere. And that's a scary thing because you're going to Detroit. This is a place Detroit plays great at. And listen, coming off of a loss, nobody's been better since 2022 than them. I think 14 straight games, wins after losing. So this is going to be awesome. This is a game Detroit normally bounces back and plays great after a loss. And Dallas is coming in hot. And a lot of things that set up in this game. Detroit's going to play man-to-man coverage. Dallas has got some absolute aliens to throw the football to. And Dak Prescott loves throwing it. So it's going to be fun.
Well, let's take it one at a time. Dallas looks like a different team. Right, over the last 3 weeks, where clearly they're playing with passion and they're also playing with grief about their teammate in Marshawn Kneeland. They're also now playing with Quinnen Williams. They're playing with DeMarvion Overshown. And as you pointed out, they're playing with George Pickens playing like he's Terrell Owens reincarnate. You know what I mean? Like that, in the body of DK Metcalf conjured up by Michael Irvin. Like this is what he's playing like right now.
It is. It's special to see them really bond and what they've been able to do over the last 3 weeks. Obviously, an unbelievable tragedy to have to go through losing a teammate. I've been there. We lost Chris Henry when I was a Cincinnati Bengal in the 2009 season. It was a horrible thing and really tough. But it's something that different than, in the NFL. I think we talk a lot about a loss of a game or a player and those kind of things and how does a team respond. I don't think that something like grief is something you respond to. It's something you bond through. And I think it's something that you pull closer together and you realize, man, you start to appreciate every little moment and every little thing you have and every ounce of like every time I get to walk in those white lines, man, I don't take it for granted. And every time I get to see a teammate or love up on a teammate or celebrate a touchdown, you don't take any of those little moments for granted. You almost cherish them even more because you realize life is fragile. And so to see a team bond through that and then start to pull closer together to add some more pieces, a guy like Quinnen Williams come in and start playing the way he's playing for them. I just think they're starting to not only build belief and confidence, but start to rally and pull together and build this strong bond of who am I playing for and why am I playing? And I think that's a tough thing to break. And so it's going to be a heck of a challenge for the Detroit Lions come Thursday.
Yeah, because Dallas is playing better than Detroit over the last month. It's that simple. And if you had to put your marker on one team that could make a run based on how they're playing, you'd still maybe put it on Detroit because of their record, which is currently right now a slightly better than Dallas's. But what do you see when you see a Lions team playing like this, coming in with potentially no Amon-Ra on Thursday night as well, Andrew?
Yeah, that's going to be the challenges for them. Is it's almost more of a, you're in a heavyweight bout and you've gotten injured and how do you fight your way out of it? And that's really what they're dealing with because now you've lost a guy in Amon-Ra who possibly is going to be out and you're going to say, hey, all right, that's our guy that he runs all our motions. He's our guy on third down. He's our safety valve. He fills in the run game and in support. He does everything for us. So now we got to have guys that either have to make electric plays. So we got to either create a lot of explosives with Jameson Williams and, Jamar Gibbs. in the run game, or we're going to have some guys maybe play more down in and down out effective than they've had to be asked to do in the past, because that's who he was for them. And then also having Sam Laporta have been out and not a part of this team, that's two guys that did a lot of those type things for you. They could do a bunch of different things to help you be successful on offense. And then on top of that, they've really struggled inside. They've lost some guys in the interior line coming into the year, especially a huge one in Frank Ragnow. But then even throughout the season, had some injuries. The guys have been banged up, and it just hasn't been the group that it's been in years past. And so I think that's a big challenge for them, is that they aren't up front what they've been in the past, and then now they're dealing with injuries as well. And that's really for them on offense going to be a big challenge, is how do they overcome that?
Andrew Whitworth here on the Rich Eisen Show, prior to a massive Week 14 kicked off with a Dallas at Detroit Thursday night football game on Prime Video. And your Prime Video got a month to go, brother. You got, after this one, an Atlanta at Tampa game that, prior to Atlanta falling apart, was a matchup between two teams one would think to win the division. Tampa's getting healthier. Yep. Mike Evans' practice window opened up this morning. He could even be back as soon as this weekend, if not that Thursday night game. They're getting healthier, and then take on Carolina 2 of the following 3 weeks, while your Week 16 game, Rams at Seattle.
Just a small one. Not a big game at all.
Monster big. What do you make of the Rams' loss at Carolina, which is playing better? As I mentioned, that is the team that's going to be battling with Tampa for the NFC South over the final month of the season. What do you make of the Rams and Seattle, that division and the conference altogether, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm really excited for them for a lot of reasons. And I think that Seattle and LA, to me, I still think have been two of the most consistent teams in the league this year. I think when you look at Denver, how great they've been on defense, and Bo Nix and the offense have kind of been up and down throughout the year. There's been some games where you get really frustrated while they're not doing more on offense. You look even in New England now, the amazing season Drake May's playing, how that defense has stepped up. Those are two teams that stick out in my mind in the AFC. But when I go to the NFC, to me, it's Seattle and LA, and it's which team, the survival of the fittest, right? And that who stays healthier, who has the opportunity to get hot at the right moment. One of these two teams, to me, has got the opportunity to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. And I think that those two teams have to have that in mind, and they got to be preparing themselves for this journey. And I think you look last week against Carolina for LA. I agree with Sean McVay. I don't think it was something that they overlooked. I think that the reality is, we see this in sports. They played the Seattle Seahawks 2 weeks before that in a huge game. Come back the next week where they got Sunday Night Football against the Bucks, an opportunity to come out and show again against another huge contender who you are. Those are two massive games you get up for. You travel all the way across the country, and I think it's one of those games where you forget, hey, you know what? The Carolina Panthers, do you know what they saw you as? The measuring stick of who they are as a football team and everything they could prove that they are. And they went out and played their best football game of the season. And I think that you have a couple turnovers and you lose a game. And I think it kind of tells us the story of this NFL season. To me, I think this is the parity of the year of this season is higher than ever, and it's really truly, to me, the hottest teams have a chance to go win a Super Bowl when we get to the end of this season. We get to the playoffs. Who can get hot at the right time and who's healthy? They got just as much a shot as anybody, because I think everybody has their warts, and everybody's kind of shown us that there's a pretty even playing field when everybody plays their best. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see the rest of this season unfold, because I think there's some sleeper teams. You brought up one in the Bucks. If Mike Evans is back, do they all of a sudden start to ascend? The Cowboys are ascending right now. Who's going to stop them? There's some of these teams that are making runs, and I think it's going to be fun to see how this season kind of unfolds here at the end. Don't forget about the Texans and that defense, because if they can start playing some offense, Lord, they're a team that defensively feel like they can stop anybody.
Yeah, that said, there are many, though, who observe professionally, and I'm raising my hand. It's just tough to quit some of the teams that we're used to seeing. You know what I mean? And in the last game of the Prime Video season, Christmas night, is Denver at Kansas City. And remarkably, Andrew, the Broncos could have the division wrapped up at the expense of Kansas City's. By then, we'll see what happens with the Chargers, who are in between the two teams right now. Where do you stand on the Chiefs, Andrew, and their ability to still get there? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a real challenge, and one of the main reasons is we've said this throughout the year when they've not been able to have their tackles, is that when you don't have those tackles for Patrick Mahomes to give him the opportunity to extend plays to be him, they've still been really good on offense this year. There's no doubt about that. They're still going to put up points. You even look at the Dallas game; it's not like they were inefficient on offense. They were playing well in that game. It's just Dallas made more plays than them, and that unfortunately for them, without their tackles, if Josh Emmons is out now, and you look at the games they've lost, it's when they've kind of had to fill those positions. You look at what the Bills did to them with injuries at both tackles positions, and then in this game, it got the same way. I think that without their full Arsenal offensive line, we've seen this. It hurts him. I mean, I think of even the only Super Bowl, like you think of the Super Bowl they lost to Tampa when they lost both guys before the Super Bowl. It's one of those things that we've seen. This is a huge factor for them when he loses that ability to extend plays and maybe play within the pocket, within the time and rhythm he wants to. It really affects their football team eventually. And I think to me, that's going to be the biggest challenge. I will say this. I think it will be unbelievably impressive if they pull it off and get into playoffs, because they've had to overcome a lot this year, and to overcome that again, it would be one heck of a freaking hill to climb, that's for sure. And I think there's some other teams, Texans, some of these others that seem to be getting hot at the right time. They're going to make it even more challenging.
Yeah, and the Chiefs face the Texans on Sunday night. And again, a huge
that pass rush
week. Again, it is off the charts, right? And again, what they need to do, the Chiefs need to win this game, obviously. First things first. And then that would mean they have a tiebreak over the Colts and the Texans. And they have to hope the Jaguars, who they've lost to, wins the AFC South. And that's the way the Chiefs can make the playoffs if they keep winning, because I think the division's gone. I do believe it's a wild card or bust for Kansas City for the first time in the Mahomes era to make the playoffs. And then, I would be remiss if I did not bring up what you personally witnessed on Friday in Philadelphia. I honestly, watching that Black Friday game on Prime Video, Andrew, I was looking on my Amazon app to see if they were giving like 20% off on Spite, and delivering it for free to the stadium. You know what I mean? Because it was insane. Literally every, run for no gain, every attempt that was incomplete was just a hammering of boos from the crowd.
Yeah.
Where are the Eagles in your mind at 8-4, Andrew?
Yeah, it's been tough to get a hold of them, because you keep feeling, I think, that every week we almost have put them in that category with the Chiefs and some of these other teams that year in and year out are good. You just expect, hey man, even when there's these lulls, like, all right, they're about to get going, they're going to have this huge run, and they're going to turn things around, and it just hasn't seemed to happen, and they haven't been able to find any consistency offensively. And then even to me now, they feel like they're searching a little bit. Like you look at it, they kind of start all of a sudden playing some more empty. They start changing up a little bit formationally what they want to do, and you're starting to see some repeat calls of things they believe in, and then still can't get Saquon going. I mean, I thought of all weeks, to me, what really put them to me in the category of, man, I just don't know if it's going to happen, was this week, because I said, look, the Bears have been opportunistic on defense. They've gotten turnovers, but they haven't been statistically like great against stopping the run or doing any of these things. And all of a sudden, it's like, I'm like, this is the game. Like, this is it. You just got beat by the Cowboys. You've got to be livid. This has got to be response game. We're the defending champs. Like, we're about to go out and show the world who we are, remind people why we're special. And for them to get shut down in the run game again, to get nothing going in a game, in an atmosphere with the weather, the wind, everything else, that like, this is the game. If you could do it, you'd do it. They're not able to do it. And on the other side, the Chicago Bears run the ball at will against them.
Unreal.
I think, to me, that's really the message was sent. And that is that we might have been waiting on the wrong team to take off. Maybe it's the Chicago Bears that we need to put in that conversation of a team that's ready to make a run.
And then this weekend against Green
Bears
against the Green Bay Packers, a half game separates them. One tie separates them. And so, which is the best team in the NFC North? The team that you're seeing on Thursday night, going to put their foot in the ground and flip a switch, or the winner of this game in Green Bay this weekend? Again, you just eyeballed the Bears, man. What do you think? The best team in the NFC North is Andrew Whitworth? Who?
Yeah, I think to me right now, I'm going to sit here and say I think it's the Green Bay Packers. And I think it's just because I believe that they've got a little bit of everything you need to go contend and be the best team in the NFC and really compete with Seattle, compete with LA because of what they can do on offense, the defense they can play, and some of the playmakers they have. I think to me, they've played more consistent at the quarterback position as well than probably what Caleb Williams has done in Chicago. But I mean, this game this weekend is for it all. I mean, the Bears can prove who they are and show their mettle. And I think it's also cool. You look at the NFC North in the next 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to know exactly who they are. I mean, they got game. The Lions play the Rams. They play the Cowboys. The Bears and Packers play each other twice. The Packers also play the Broncos. Like we're going to know exactly what's going on in this division and who's for real over the next 3-4 weeks. And it's a little bit of survival. Like how many of those games they get through healthy and showing who they are as contenders. I think it's going to be fun to say fun to see who kind of rises to the crop in this division. And right now, I think to me, it's probably going to be the Green Bay Packers. But hey, anytime you start off, Rich, your opening press conference, and you say, I can't wait to go beat the Packers twice a year, you know what? And Matt LaFleur, this one's going to be fun because you know how it is. We're going to hear all week that it was nothing. It meant nothing. LaFleur's going to ignore that it existed. And behind closed doors, there is for sure some conversations of this is what was said and this is what has to go happen on the football field. So I'm excited to see maybe a little bit of some extra energy in this game come next week.
I love it. Extra energy. And then, brother, I have been taking a beating from this chair for months. Okay. Hold on a second. I've been taking a beating from this chair for months over me saying the Bengals season is not over. Because I believed in Jake Browning, and then I believed in Joe Flacco, and then I'm like, hey, Burrow's coming back, and now I saw what I saw on Thanksgiving night, okay, and they're just 2 back. That's it. They're 2 back, but they're in Buffalo, Western New York. Burrow versus Allen, good old-fashioned December football, man. Is the Bengals season over? Andrew Whitworth, are you with me? What do you got?
Never over if Joe Burrow's got a chance, baby. If Joe Burrow's around, there's never over. I feel like all we are is back to last year, Rich. I mean, I'm back to last year watching them on this chase, all these things. I'm like, dude, did we just get back to 2024? What happened? Because it's just now we're going to sit here and play the game of if this team beats this team and this team beats this team and then they could win this game and then he's going to play out of his mind. I don't think. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is probably nervous this week because Josh Allen and his Buffalo Bills, he knows it. He knows what happens because here's what happened. Not only did Joe Burrow come back and play quarterback last week, apparently he also played middle linebacker, free safety, rush end. Like all of a sudden their defense is good. Like this doesn't make any sense. I don't know what's happening, Rich. But Joe Burrow apparently makes everyone better. So listen, I think it's going to be fun and it's going to be a heck of a war in Buffalo. This could be, the story if Joe Burrow can go get this dub of the rest of the season is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
It is so much fun. And it all starts on Thursday night on Prime Video with Cowboys at Lions. What a week. Awesome stuff. Fitz and Wit is going to be a great pod to listen to, certainly off of Burrow v. Allen coming up this weekend. I can't wait to see the rest of the season with you and the rest of the crew on Thursday night. And again, everybody, tell everyone where the GoFundMe is for you now that you're helping pay off Lane's house. Is that what I'm being told?
Yeah.
You're helping pay off Lane's house in Oxford so he could coach at LSU. Yeah, I mean,
this matters.
He's actually sending me back to Ole Miss to help out with the rest of the season as well.
Hey.
So that's what's happening.
And you know why? Because it helps put some mailbox money there in Baton Rouge for them if they win it. What a great idea.
That's right.
That's what I was talking about.
I'm going to go recruit some. I'm going to go work with the Ole Miss O linemen. Just maybe throw in a couple good words about Baton Rouge and a couple of my favorite places to eat. Man. So
someday when you and I are going to be spending another moment together having a libation, you'll have to explain to me SEC football. Okay, just explain to me how that world is completely different from the rest of planet Earth. Okay, you'll have to do that for me one day.
Very different.
Hey, great to see you.
I got you.
Look forward to seeing you and the rest of the crew in Detroit tomorrow night to kick off a week of the season. And what a great way to do it. Thanks for the time, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Andrew Whitworth, one of our favorites right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.